Welcome back to Let's Talk Foster Care. I'm Heather.
And I'm Katie.
And today we are going to share a little bit more about some possible barriers. One, to either just take that leap of faith into foster care, or what might be preventing you from making that call.
Absolutely. You know, the number one thing we hear when we're out there chatting with people is, but what if I get attached? What would I do when that child does reunify with their birth family? How would I move on from that? I don't think I can do it.
And the first thing that we tell people is you have to trust the Lord with your heart. Whether it's for a day, a week, a month, or a lifetime, He's got you, and you're making impacts in the kiddos' lives.
And you have to trust the Lord with those kiddos' hearts also. It's your heart. If you are married, it's your spouse's heart. It's your birth children's heart if you have other children in the home. And then it's that child's heart that, again, will be with you for a day, a week, a month, a couple years. You can trust that the Lord is writing their story just as He is writing your family's story, and that He is going to continue to walk with them wherever life leads them as well.
But it doesn't make it any easier. It's those reminders that we, as your agency, walk alongside you and support you. We get upset with you, we get mad, we get angry, we question, we cry, because it is hard. But knowing that these kiddos are with a family that they are being loved and they're safe and have more to just wrap around them is what's so beautiful. And it's also so important to think about kind of that possibility of reunification, because I also tell our families, listen, these are all God's children, and they were given to their bio families first. That's their children. And we are the ones as foster families stepping in to help, to assist in a time of need and a hard time in that family's life. So it's hard to think about this, but the better connection that you have with the bio families, if there are visits and they're trying, just think about walking alongside of them. Maybe they need help in one area of just, maybe it's temper tantrums, maybe it's not sleeping, maybe, whatever the cause or the reason for them being removed, whether it's domestic violence or it's been drug use or what are some of the other things? Neglect.
They're so overwhelmed as parents. They're not.
This is an opportunity not only to come alongside of those kiddos, but the bio families as well, to help them. And if they know, if they're not feeling like you're going to take their kids away, but you're there to love them while they're getting the help that they need, it just turns the tables. And simply even having your foster kiddo color a picture for them or sending schoolwork with them, that softens their hearts and gives them a reason to get the help that they need so they can get their kiddos back. And as you know, we've mentioned we are a Christian agency. There has been so many stories within our own families, our licensed families now, where our foster parents have walked alongside of the entire family and planted those seeds with them, where not only did the foster child become baptized, but also the birth mom was baptized and attends church with our foster parents still to this day, and she has her kiddos back. So if that isn't something that just touches your heart on what ifs could happen, I don't know what would.
And it's so key, I think, what you highlighted. You're stepping in and able to change generations with this. It's not just that one child in your home for that specific period. So often, if a child has been removed, if not always, there is a very valid reason why that birth parent needs to be learning the same concepts that the child needs to be learning, that we're always talking about: attachment, bonding. So the biggest fear, which is very understandable, that is a very understandable fear to say, what if I get attached and my heart is ripped to pieces? But really it becomes the biggest place for forward growth to happen, the biggest place for these families to understand really the most important foundational concept that we all need to know, what it is to connect in a safe, loving, healthy, positive relationship and environment. And so we, again, as Heather highlighted, this is not easy, and we're going to go into that a little bit deeper in a second here, but if we can stick with it, if we can trust the Lord, it really is one of the most powerful places for these kiddos to just be able to move into the rest of their lives, whether it is with you as a forever family, because that does happen. Not every child goes back and reunifies.
I want to jump in there just for a second, Katie, because I know it can look like we're just sitting here talking about our agency and what we do and sharing our hearts, but really, this is personal. I will share not only do I work for Encourage, but I'm also I was a grandma of foster kiddos, and these kiddos came in just in this past year to our family, and wow, did our hearts just love. We had them for 4 months. They came day before Easter, and we were all in. I mean, it was like these kiddos had been with us their entire life, and we love them as our grandchildren. My children love them as their foster children. All of our family wrapped around them. And they had visits with their bio family weekly. And it was so important to my daughter to always make sure that they were excited to go see bio mom and bio dad, and would take them pictures and do all the things that they should have done. But it didn't make it any easier the day that they went to be with another family member. It was hard. It was hard. So, I don't want to discount that stepping into this is easy, but this is the thing. We, as my own personal family, got to love these children for that period of time, and we got to make memories with them, and we got to share with them our family and their family. So we pray that one day that they're going to remember all the things that we did together, and even though they have gone back home at this time, that they have another family out there. They have other people that love them. And as much as we want to think that we made impacts on their life, they're the ones that made impacts on our life. And then we didn't see them, okay? They go home, we don't hear about them, you don't see them. Well, this is where God is so good, because we were able to visit them over the holidays and give them Christmas presents. And that was another opportunity just to let them know and let that family know that we know that those are their kids, but how we got to share our hearts and our life with them, that there was no judging, to their bio family. These are children. And as hard as foster care is and reasonings why they are removed, we set that all aside, because those children, every child deserves a family. Every child deserves to be loved. So even though it's heartbreaking on us to say goodbye, they deserve that. They deserve a safe place to go while they are away from the only thing that they know is their family. And listen, if not us, if not you, then who?
Yeah, Heather, I remember walking through this with you as your team also, and I don't think you could have said it any better. I'm amazed you made it through without crying earlier in this session. It was so hard, and we say that all the time. We know it is hard. We're here with you. You already said that even today. We're going to walk alongside of you. But as we've walked alongside of it with you as our teammate, we really were in it with you, and we felt like our own kiddos were going home, also our own nieces and nephews, and it was hard, but there was a place for all of us to be reminded really how you ended it. If it's not us, who steps in? And what happens to these kiddos if we don't step in? What happens to these kiddos if they never see a loving family, never understand safety? What happens to the bio families if they never see safety, if they never get the support that they need as they're working out their own stories? So yes, as hard as it is, we are here truly to walk alongside each of our families as they work through whatever the Lord is doing in their stories.
And we just want to remind everyone that gets involved to be strong, because their story is not over. So after all these emotions, the real stories, we want to encourage you to join us in our next episode of Let's Talk Foster Care.
It'll be every second and fourth Mondays at 7 o'clock on our socials, and you can find us at www.encouragefostercare.com/let's talk. So send us your questions,
Comments?
we would love to hear from you.